Marvel made us a promise when Nick Fury first showed up at the end of Iron Man 10 years ago to tell Tony Stark about the Avenger Initiative. Avengers Infinity War is the culmination of that promise, and it somehow lives up to expectations. It's unbelievable, but this movie is so f***ing good. It's so good. It's so good. Marvel has set a high bar recently with Thor Ragnarok and Spider-Man Homecoming and all of the recent MCU movies. I rewatched Winter Soldier and Civil War. Like, they're all so good, and somehow this movie lived up to my expectations. Thanos has been lurking in the wings of the MCU for years now. He was behind Loki's attack on New York in the original Avengers. He was behind like Ronan's assault on Xandar in Guardians of the Galaxy. And now, as that post-credit scene from years ago teased, he is finally ready to just do it himself because all of his other plans have failed. He also knows the locations of 5 of the 6 Infinity Stones, so he sends his Children of Thanos, which are like 4 of the new characters in this movie, to Earth, and he goes after the other ones himself. And that is all I'm going to say about the plot because I do not want to spoil it. Okay, so the Children of Thanos are the main new characters. The movie doesn't really spend a lot of time establishing them, and they kind of toe the line between like being cool comic book villains and just kind of being cannon fodder. But that's understandable because of just the sheer ridiculously massive number of characters that we have going into this movie that are already established. Infinity War is bringing together characters from more movies than I can remember off the top of my head, so I'm going to read them off this paper. Iron Man, Captain America, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor, Spider-Man, and just the larger Avengers universe, which includes like Hulk and Black Widow and Scarlet Witch and Vision and all the characters that don't have their own movies yet. One of the most impressive things about this movie is it feels like it does all of these characters justice. It's not just the protagonists from these different franchises that are included, it's a lot of the side characters as well, and no matter how small they are, they kind of all get like a couple of lines here or there, like a one-liner or a conversation or a smaller moment or like a cool moment during a battle. Like it feels like they're all present and not just in the background. It's really cool. Infinity War also does a really amazing job striking a balance between like the big budget battles that we're expecting from the trailers and like smaller, more emotional moments just between a couple of characters. It really actually has really great pacing throughout. And I think there's 2 factors that help it with that. For one thing, these are almost entirely characters that we're already intimately familiar with. If you've been keeping up with the MCU for the last 10 years, then you already know who these people are, and the movie doesn't have to spend time establishing them. That said, if you're not caught up, good luck. The other factor is that this really is only half of a story. I mean, the movie has an ending, and it does have a note of finality about it, but it feels like it's a thread or multiple threads that are definitely going to get picked up in the Avengers 4, which I legitimately have no idea what's going to happen in that movie, and it's kind of an amazing feeling. Let's talk about the tone. We've come to expect this sort of mix of really solid action with like really funny humor, and Infinity War hits that perfectly.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. Then I am Spider-Man.
I do think that some of the funnier moments kind of feel shoehorned into these otherwise serious scenes, and I know that kind of rubs some fans the wrong way. The action, on the other hand, is f***ing incredible. The Russo brothers are the directors, and they did Captain America Civil War and Captain America Winter Soldier before that, and the action in those movies is kind of a good indication of the action in this movie, especially with all of these different heroes coming together. I won't spoil anything, but the movie uses everyone's powers and in all these different combinations that are super fun, super creative, and the action is just amazing. The most important character at the center of it all is Thanos, the Mad Titan. He's finally here, and it really feels like his movie. This is easily the most we've gotten of Thanos since Guardians of the Galaxy, when he kind of made his debut, other than like the post-credits scenes he had been in, and it really feels like his movie. There were some things about Thanos that I kind of missed from knowing about the source material, but if you don't already know those things, it probably won't bother you, and they do a really good job of fleshing out Thanos anyway. He feels like super powerful, just unstoppable, which is how he should feel, but there's also like a more subtle, like emotional, complex side to him that the movie also does a really good job of exploring. He seems surprisingly human for a genocidal purple alien with a ballsack for a chin. Josh Brolin kills it, he's amazing. But it's also still an Avengers movie, and it comes with everything that the Avengers name has come to mean within the MCU and the larger entertainment landscape. I mean, it's all those characters coming together. Do you remember the goosebumps that you felt when you watched the first Avengers movie in 2012, and it was characters from disparate movies, disparate franchises coming together on screen, fighting for the first time? It was amazing. Extrapolate that over a decade, 18 movies, and the payoff is like exponentially even more than that, and it just feels incredible to be sitting there watching this happening. So here's what's good. Just the payoff of all of these characters coming together is amazing, and the balance that the movie strikes among all of the characters, big and small, good and bad, is really, really amazing. Thanos is an incredible villain, and I really think that the movie did justice to one of the most iconic bad guys of all time. The action is incredible, all the heroes' powers get used in all these really creative ways. They bounce off each other, they join forces and team up in surprising, unexpected ways. There's some fun, surprising character moments, and the movie is really funny, but also has time for little emotional beats as well. It's not 100% perfect. I would say my main complaints probably are that some of the new characters don't get as much time to develop, which again is understandable, and some of the humor feels a little bit shoehorned into scenes that are like otherwise fairly serious. They break the tension, and you might be into it or you might not. The MCU has been going on for a decade, and there were decades of comics before that, and ongoing comics even now, and I really feel like Avengers Infinity War does justice to all of it. It's a surprisingly human movie. It stays grounded in the characters, even with all of the amazing, huge action that we expect. It's been a long road, but I think it was worth it.